I think, madam, now it is visible.
Yes, sir. It is clearly visible, sir.
Okay. So I am going to start my presentation very quickly without any further delay. And I am very much happy, as I am telling, I have shared that today we are going to learn effective review paper drafting process through this international workshop organized by Eduskia Research University, USA. And in the beginning, I will be covering one slide, what is research, then immediately I will switch over to what is review research, framework of writing review papers, drafting process, and problem gap identification. And I will be covering how to create attractive title for your manuscript. I will be sharing, I'll be telling about the publication opportunities, which the scholars or the PhD scholars, they are very much interested how to publish their contribution, their research free of cost. And I'll be sharing one blueprint of a review paper written by me. With this, I'll be starting very carefully that we must understand from the beginning that research is a systematic investigation, whether it is review paper or research paper. It is a systematic investigation into and the study of materials and sources. Materials may be physical, materials may be intellectual, and sources may be tangible, may be intangible. This is the research subject and content context in order to establish the facts. Facts we have to establish because we have to draw a conclusion which should be newer one. And the main objective of this research is creating a new knowledge and use existing knowledge for generating new concepts. So this is my view, my submission, that research is not information gathering, rather it should be utilized in a very proper and scientific manner. And I will be switching over that what is a review paper and what is a research paper. I must distinguish between two. A review paper, always it is the purpose of review paper is to offer a systematic critical evaluation of a former research work which has been done, so that new domains can be explored from the conclusion. And research paper, you know very well, it is remaining focused in the presenting a research-based knowledge and report investigative findings to gain answers to a specific question. It is the I mean to say characteristics of a research paper. And review paper is to meet the purpose I told you, that a review paper analyzes all kind of like secondary research. And for your kind information, a review paper can be between 3,000 to 6,000 words only, where a research paper requires minimum 9,000 to 10,000 words. So the purpose of today's topic, today's session, we will be trying to understand how to write a review paper. And as you know very well, that a review paper is based on other published articles, materials. Review articles are published, the similar kind of articles we have to take up, and we have to give attention, and we will put our attempt to explain the current state of understanding on the topic in context to the process of review, how we'll be getting the gap and how we'll be starting the paper writing from that gap. And as I told that this is the complete review process. And we must be knowing one by one. Then I will be telling you how to overcome this review process. Because when we are writing a review paper, we must know what exactly is going to be happened with our paper. You see, when we are going to submit the paper, there is possibility for desk reject. So immediately desk reject may be taken place. So what is desk reject? Desk reject may be the paper is not meeting the scope or criteria of, or the objectives of that particular journal. And the second desk reject possibility is there, that when our plagiarism percentage will be more than 10% or 15%, which has been specified by different journals in different ways. So we have to meet that. If at all it is beyond that, so desk reject is a common phenomenon. So we may expect our paper may be rejected when we'll be submitting. Immediately we'll be getting that our paper has been rejected. Or other chances of rejection is there if our paper is not carrying, is missing something, like title is not proper, name is not proper, or other things are not in the sequence what exactly the publisher needs or we would like to deliver. So if there will be a gap, then there is a chance of desk rejection. So when we'll be submitting the paper, so there is chance of desk rejection. If desk rejection is not there, that means the paper will be coming to the next level. Next level means, you see, desk reject will be done by the paper chairs. If at all there is series editors are there, main editors are there, different associate editors are there, editorial board members are there. So different hubs have been created to check and balance the quality of the paper. So if the paper chairs has got right immediately by looking the primary condition of that paper, the paper may be rejected through, it is called desk reject. Desk reject may be done by the paper chairs or subcommittee chairs. So when it will be rejected, then if there is a chance to, I mean to say, accept your paper, then certainly you will be told to revise and resubmit. If at all, or you will be told accepted with minor revisions. So that these are the chances are there. Sure, the blue line we are getting, blue figures drawn in blue color, is representing the most crucial part of a paper writer to overcome these crises. And when the associate chair is going to accept your paper, paper will go to the external reviewer for reviewing your paper. And when the review will be taking place, there is chances of online discussion also, because most of the journals recently, I have got one assignment that on 11th there is a discussion on different papers. Editors will be assembled around 25-30 editors will be in the platform, and one issue will be resolved. So that is the point. And on that basis, the associate chair is going to recommend your paper. When your paper is going to be recommended, then it will be treated as one accepted paper with minor revision, or revise and resubmit your paper, which is also minor revision. Then again, your paper will be going through a review process. Then also online discussions will be there. Then also kind of like associate chair recommendation will be there. Then also the final discussion will be taken place. So this is the process of review of a paper when you are writing that paper for publishing purposes. So what we have to do, we have to do that. Will from the beginning, we'll be trying to make the paper strengthened, so that what will happen, that will never come across dex reject or any kind of major rejection will be taken place. So with this is the framework of review paper drafting. The framework says that the first point is your title. I'll be telling you how to take up a title, and I'll be sharing my paper with you and how I have taken the title. So title includes your name of the paper and author's name, affiliation, and all other required information on the basis of the requirement of the journal. So you have to see what exactly journal needs. Sure. And the second is abstract. Abstract is a kind of like, it is a kind of like very concise version. It is a very small story you have to write, and with 250 to 300 words nowadays, many journals, they have also reduced their abstract to 150 words. So abstract, whenever you are writing abstract, you should include the background of your study. Only just theoretically you don't write those things, that this is my paper, and no, you have to write down the background. I will be showing one paper at the end of my presentation, and you have to write down the aims of your paper, aims of your writing, and methods and results and conclusion also you have to write in abstract. And then you will go to introduction. Introduction is the gateway of your paper. If at all your crown, abstract is your crown, is your cap, and then when you are going to enter into introduction will explain why you performed this research in context to available knowledge, what you aim to achieve. That you have to write down very clearly. You have to cite all the examples of the authors, those have written on the basis of review of literature, review of papers. I will be showing you how you have to write down all those things. And this next to this introduction, you will come to methods. So how you are going to conduct your experiment, or how you are going to make flow of your kind of like writings, that you have to write down. And results you have to explain. Then there is a chance, there is a window for discussion. If there is something very much important for discussion in context to available literature, and looking into the gap and looking into the problems, so you have got all kind of freedom to write all those things here. And apart from that, what is happening in conclusion? Very, very carefully you have to draw the conclusion, because you see this section is the part of the your discussion section. You have already discussed something about your writing, about your research, and depending on the style of journal, because you see different style, different journal having different guidelines, different restrictions, different kind of like terms and conditions. So looking into that, you have to find out your major findings and its importance. You have to write down, and at the end of the paper, you have to write down references. I will be telling you one by one how you will take up this. You see, abstract to be divided into three parts. Whenever I told you, again I am telling you, introduction, body, and conclusion. So abstract, you see, it is going to defend your paper. It is going to develop one kind of like source of explaining your idea. So the abstract is to describe in a very scientific manner And the abstract should begin with a brief but precise statement of the problem and issues, followed by a description of research methods and design, and major findings and conclusion, what you have reached, that you have to write down here. So it will make a bigger, it will give a big window to you that the reviewers, they will be entering into the subject. It is a kind of like you have opened the window for them to see what you have written in your paper. So if at all this abstract is going to be weak, then the reviewers may lose their interest on reading, because you see, we are reviewing many papers from many reputed journals, starting from Scopus, IGI, Springer, etc., etc. But thing is that we see, basically, we see the how the author, they have opened up their studies with the help of abstracts. It is a very, very important area to be taken into care. And introduction, you see, introduction to be divided into 5 steps. You can take 5 steps, or you can merge 5 steps into 3 steps also. And what exactly you have to write down here? The first job of yours, that you should tell the readers that your topic is and why it is interesting and important. Why the topic is very, very interesting and important, you take the first step to establish all those things. And the second step, you can describe the background of your studies. Why you have taken this study? Because something is unknown. You have identified the gap. That gap you have to establish there. And establish your problems. You know, gap and problems are very much back-to-back issues in a research writing process. And the fourth step is you have to specify for what purposes you have written this. And you have to, by writing all those things, you can have a chance to map out your paper with the help of filling the gap. So you have to write down all those things. And literature review. Literature review is an art, because more and more you'll study, more and more possibility of getting gaps will be there. For example, I have divided this literature review into 3 parts. One is you are going to collect gross literature, 152 articles for your project, for your research, for your secondary, I mean to say, review, paper writing and drafting purposes. Out of 152, you saw 16 papers are highly relevant to you. So you have to filter those papers. And what you have to do with those papers, I will be telling to you. You just filter those papers. Then second step is kind of like there are many other standard books and articles also, sources are there, like daily publication, journals, like other form of textbook and a form of edited book. So many things are available. So why you are in search of again this literature, you are running after literature? Because you want to verify the gap, looking into the potentiality of your objectives, because it establishes the author's in-depth understanding and knowledge about that particular field, particular subject. And it helps in examining your research results. And it is the change, I mean to say, the game changer of your this paper writing, is this review paper writing. It is the game changer, because you have to, again, you found in second criteria that some quality standards and relevant questions, what is in your mind, you have collected looking into that. And you have, then you have to come down to the third criteria. Third criteria is known as, the second is snowballing phase, and the first phase is sort string, and the third phase is selection and extraction. Selection and extraction. Extraction, you see, what literature you are getting, it should be in a it must be relevant to your subject, relevant to your queries, relevant to your gap, research gap, and relevant to your problems. And after that, what is happening in this selection and extraction, you will be find that again, that no, these papers I have collected, articles collected, out of that, only 15 selected studies will be enough for me. Unless until you will be studying more, you cannot land on this decision. Then only these 15 studies, I have studied only 18, 19 papers, and I have made a paper. I'll show you. And then only you can identify the real research gap, and on that basis, you can start working with your paper. And research methodology is a very common subject, but here what we have to do, we have to focus on our aim and objectives, and the research methods that suits your research problems must be identified. Here we are making our research on the basis of the secondary data, published data. So there is no question of you using any tools. You can use tools, but you are free to whether it permits the writing or the secondary data is permitting you or not. And the third is selecting the particular research method. Fourth is considering your readers, and fifth is different type of data collection. We have collected from different sources, published sources, and on that basis we have to analyze and we have to draw the conclusion, because it clarifies the research inquiry and why inquiry is very, very imperative, that this stage is going to clear it. And we have to go for conclusion. We have to draw conclusion very suitably. We have to draw conclusion. Conclusion must be, you have to see how conclusion must be drawn very suitably. You have to establish the major points that are most useful for further studies or for your achievement. You have did it. Through your studies, you have identified those things. And using the same way, you are supposed to enter into different words to establish your findings, and you should not write in negative things, unexpected things, so that your paper will be destroyed. So you should not write down anything from your own. So you have to take the help of your literature, finding literature. And what is the gap? You have to establish that gap only. You have to write down. And if at all you are going to summarize your conclusion in a very scientific manner, then it will have a very good kind of like consider a paper will be considered it is qualitative. And reference, you know very well, there are two kind of references probably we are using for our management, commerce, and other things like MLA and APA. MLA is a Modern Language Association, which is English, literature, religious studies, foreign language, and communication. All those things are coming under MLA. And APA, American Psychological Association, used for the psychology, education, business, nursing, and linguistic studies, more broad. This is about all those things. Apart from that, we have got Chicago and this American Sociological Association style also. But most of the scholars, they are very much familiar with this MLA and APA kind of like references. And you know very well, and this is this is a classic example. Every time I love to give this example. And you see how you will identify the problem. I have written two set of things I have written. One is wrong problem, one is correct problem. So what is wrong problem, what is correct problem? Wrong problem is you have to identify, because you see, whenever you are studying the literature, you must keep all those things in your mind. If any literature is not very much pertinent with the statistical data or any kind of information you are not getting adequately, that literature review may not work properly for you. So that is why, what is wrong problem identification. So whenever, for example, we are selling laptop and market is question, and the problem is sales not picking up at the rate at which they should, maybe 5%, 6%, 7% was our expectation, but it is not picking up. But this is not a right problem identification. So if you need to identify the problem, you should search the review literature in this context I am telling to you. Is product is laptop, market is Western, with special emphasis to particular area where we have got adequate acceptance of our product. In India, I have taken 5 areas. Is Western, is Mumbai, Pune, Nashik, Ahmedabad, Baroda. And the current market share is 27%, including office customers and non-office customer. I mean to say individual customers and industrial customers. So non-office customers, suppose we will be taking non-office customers. So we have segmented the market. So on the basis of market segmentation, non-office customers are professionals such as lawyers, doctors, accountants, consultants, journalists, academicians, researchers. So these are the individuals, those are purchasing our product under non-office customer category. And with this, the current market share is 8.5% in non-office segment. In last year, 1980-90, our brand of laptop achieved only a 2% growth rate at against projected 5%. So this is the complete kind of problem identification, and these with this we can find out the reasons for shortfall of the growth rate of non-office market demands. So this is the right way to study the literature. So whenever you are studying the literature, you review in this way. And this is the research gap. Very briefly, I am telling to you how you have to gap the you have to find out the gap whenever you are trying to write a paper for you for publication. So gap is expected from 2 sources. I mean to say, one is from literature review. We are doing literature review, so that gap we will see. What are the possible gaps? Possible gaps are maybe population. I studied one literature having taking only the sample size is 50, and the population is very high. So in that case, the result may not be adequate. So this is the gap in population, gap in analysis, gap in implication, gap in methods, gap in concepts, gap in perspectives, gap in theory, gap in methodology. So if at all we are studying literature review, we must be aiming for those gaps. If at all we cannot precisely, we are not ready to catch the gap. I mean to say, it is not like you throughout the day you will be trying to study the literature. But what is the purpose of studying literature? You have to find out the gap. What is the objective of your paper and what is the exact gap is laying. So with this, you have to prepare a questionnaire, and questionnaire preparation must be in a very narrow down form, so that what will happen, that will precisely, that will make your question more appropriate, so that you will be getting the answer from through literature review. For example, start a general topic media violence. You are going to write some article on media violence. If at all you have decided to write something in media violence, you have to see what are the population those are going to be affected with media violence. Maybe children, maybe adolescents, maybe young people, maybe older one, or the teens are affected by violent media. So you have to narrow down the question. So the last will be like this: is there any evidence that violent video games increase violence in teens? If you can catch those things, it will be easier for you to move, to go ahead. And whenever you are trying to write any topic, so you must feel that whether, because three type of topic could be taken: one is declarative, one is descriptive, one is interrogative. So on that basis, you have to finalize the topic, and we'll come to publication. So when you have completed very successfully your paper, that you need to publish those papers in a very reputed journal. Maybe CSI, SCI indexed journal, maybe Scopus, supported by Elsevier, and or it is IGI Global, or IEEE, or SAGE journals, or Emerald, or Elsevier, or UGC care listed journals. Because why your paper will be taken by a good house, let us understand. They will never simply print your paper. They are going to sell their journals in the market. So after acquisition of the paper, editing will be there, design and typesetting will be there, proofreading will be there, printing will be there, marketing will be there, publicity will be there, and at the end of the day, sales is required. So when we are writing a paper, we should feel how this paper will be sellable, how our idea will be sellable. Then only a good house is going to publish our paper. Because you see, all the publishing house I have shown here, they will give you password and ID to access the journal, I mean to say paper movement. And you will be, some journals are there, the paid journals, but we are going to discuss the free journal, how you will be publishing freely. So recently, I have published 3 papers in IEEE without paying a single pie. And IGI Global is a very good platform for publishing your paper freely. They have got a free version as well as also paid version, but you have to see the free one. And remember, your plagiarism should be below 10% always. If it is more than 10%, no good journal is going to take your paper for publication. Because nowadays, this Turnitin software is being used by most of the publishers, journal, universities and scholars. So you should write the paper is in very clear manner. I will show you the paper. I will be sharing the paper with you. I will be sharing the plagiarism report also with you. You will see how plagiarism plays a very important role on this. And when you are going to uh, making ready a paper, you should see from the marketing point of view also, because those are the companies. They are going to, they have made their reputation very high, and the rating is very high if at all your paper is going to be published. But at the end of the day, they will calculate, is the paper has got potentiality or not. If the paper having potentiality, paper has delivered something new things, paper has made some new conclusion, has given some opportunity for further research. If at all those things are going to be done, then your paper is going to be published in any reputed journal. And my paper, I am going to show you that paper that is going to be published in Sage journal. It is in Sage group. And at the end of the this deliberation, I should advise you, when we are talking about research, you need to develop some habits within you. If at all that you cannot do, you may lose the entire, I mean to say, process to deliver a good paper within a stipulated time period. So you connect yourself always. You ask yourself how much time you have given for a particular research, how much this review of literature is required for my designated topic, and connect your domain knowledge. You try to make yourself update always. And domain knowledge is, you can enrich your domain knowledge by reading regularly different articles, different writings. And you connect yourself with the institution, industry, and you connect yourself with your profession. If actually you are interested to become a teacher, you are interested to become a writer, you are interested to become a research paper writer, and you should love your writings. You should believe that you can deliver without fail. You can deliver, because first time, second time, third time, fourth time you will be facing problem, but subsequently your error percentage will be very less. And finally, you have to connect yourself with the society. And with this, I will show you one of my paper. Just a minute. So I will show you one of my paper along with plagiarism report also. This is my paper. Is visible? Is visible? Is it visible? Is it visible? So I have written a paper in this way. The topic of my paper is it visible? Are you getting me? Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Thank you very much for your response. My topic is very simple topic, you see. I have chosen a very simple topic, and it is going to be published in a sales journal. That journal is in sales and UGCKR, both. And identifying entrepreneurial mindsets at academic level to create more industrial enterprises for future MSME. You see, this is a very simple topic. And what I have done here, I have taken the abstract. I have put everything to make a proper understanding. Then I will be segregating. The purpose of my paper is to explore the use of new technology in creating an entrepreneurial mindset at academic levels. This is the purpose. And in the ever fast changing modern world, the use of digital banking services is growing gradually. I came to entrepreneurship, then digital banking. And the paper aims to propose the use of technology-based banking services such as neo-banking for supporting the innovations and ideas generated at academic levels. This approach will create more industrial enterprises at the ground level, and later with the proper guidance and mentoring will make the shape of the future micro, small and medium enterprises. You see very clearly I have written the design, methodology and approach. The study employs archival and observational research during data drawn from internet. The research findings enrich our understanding of funding mechanism in India for MSMEs in India, particularly repeatedly it is written, MSMEs, and use the technology for the same. And findings I have written, you see, findings. The research paper findings indicate that the use of technology and indication of suitable innovation befitting society are major factors in the establishment of MSME in early stage. Further, a systematic framework is required, because I have prepared a framework, I'll show you. Further, a systematic framework is required to create MSMEs in making from the academic level, because entrepreneurs should not be, it is a profession. Entrepreneur is a profession. So we must guide them professionally, and innovations must be supported so that they can be commercialized for the benefits of innovators as well as the society. So this is my my findings, and the findings of this paper will provide deeper insights for the banks as well as different government agencies to formulate their strategies. What I have done, I have given some framework. I have indicated some strategies. Let the bank, let the organization follow those strategies so that the innovations and entrepreneurship will be supported in academic level. In academic level. And here, practical implication I have taken. What is the practical implication? Entrepreneurship is considered as one of the major aspects of establishing an industrial mindset at an early stage. Various innovations are emerging at academic level across different platforms such as project competition, hackathons, and so and so. This indicates that there is no dearth of talent in India. So nurturing this talent by proper mentoring will develop future entrepreneurs. So originality and value also I have taken. I have taken very much clearly, I have written. This study attempts to offer some of the opinions that may be considered as implemented about creation entrepreneurs at academic level. The use of digital services for supporting and funding the innovations may be explored to create new age entrepreneurs in India looking into the Atma Bharat, Make in India. With no mechanism in place of encouraging the innovations at the academic stage, there is immense scope for policymakers and advisors. So with this, I have started introduction. You see how I have started introduction. I have not written all those things. I have collected from the literature. I have given the references here. I have taken the report, annual report, MSME annual report. So from there, I have extracted. That is why this is not my mindset that to tell new things. That has been written, that the industrial community of MSME is one of the most active sector in India. That has been written. So with the help of a different literature, I have also started collecting different data, like annual report from 2021. Approximately, I have collected that 6,33,88 MSME business were found to be operational in India. And with this, I have taken so many kind of like numerical data, so many, I have studied many literatures to develop this review paper. So with this, I have taken the data with the help of annual report. And also I have taken that how our Prime Minister Modi is talking about Make in India for the world. So this has been described very properly by the author. I have given full reference of the author at the end of the article. And here I have taken literature review. I have divided literature review into understanding Indian innovation policy and existing idea innovation, funding mechanism in India. With this, I have made some table on my own, and by studying all those things, and I have referred the source also I have given, and I have written here, I have tried to communicate that growth in startup in India, growth in e-loans in India. And here I have tried my best level to retrieve a data from Indian Times of India, and this diagram I have taken from that source. So I wanted to tell here how digital loan has been taken growth in different financial years. And this is digital loans, total disbursed. This is digital loans percentage of total advances. And again, I have pointed out the research gap. I told you, unless until you will be understanding research gap, you cannot develop a paper properly. So you see how I have written. Much research and article have been studied to understand the funding mechanisms and process that support the creation of innovation ideas and projects at the academic and institutional level. So research specific innovation that is very much supported is too limited because of it is lacking, especially at the level of academic level. This report inculcate the attitude of taking innovative research befitting society is important in shaping the future India entrepreneurs. This is the gap I found. So this is mainly because of innovations and results from multiple project competition and hackathons at different institutions in India are increasing. That is why this will soon become an emerging MSME and will spread the message of social entrepreneurship in this current period COVID-19 related rules and restrictions, and also ban dimensions of funding process. That gap I have taken. And what is the objective of my paper? The paper objective is very simple. This paper, research paper, I have written this research paper. I have never written this peer-reviewed paper. Peer-reviewed is also a research paper. So this research paper suggests using technology-based banking services such as digital banks or alike neo-banking services to support and incubate the innovations and idea generated at academic level. This approach will lead to the creation of more industrial enterprises soon. This is my objective to study. So this is my objective, to support how the society will be immensely benefited out of this. So this is my conceptual model that that has been developed by all of the authors. You see, I have taken pre-SME, small micro entrepreneurs, and this is our pre-startup level. And again, what I have done with the help of this model, I have divided. One is academic and institutional level projects. One is technology and social hackathons organized by technology companies. And one is project at technology and social hackathons organized by government. I have divided these activities into 3 categories. Again, I throw all those things into one box. Due diligence mechanism to select the project, those are winners. Also, other projects are that brings social entrepreneurship have potential to become a potential entrepreneur and function as a MSME. So for that, what I have done, I have suggested incubation with the help of national innovation and startup policy is required. And it should be supported by technology assisted incubation using digital banking, new banks, and other relevant mechanisms. And again, what is happening, that bringing the project to small, medium enterprises or startup level or any stage you mean to say, we can see. And finally, what we have to do, we have to use the existing mechanism for funding and scaling of the business operations. So this model has been, this is a proposed model, and if at all this model is going to be followed, so many entrepreneurs kind of like flow of their ideas, their innovations, their kind of like investment will be protected very nicely. I mean to say, they will be doing excellent and they will be meeting the objectives of Make in India. And at the end of the, I have studied many, I told you only I have studied this 19 articles, 19 papers. And the last paper is 9 paper. I had written in 2013. And this 19 paper I have taken at the end of the, it is 19, you see. So I have written this paper, and I am happy that today I could be able to share all those things with this platform. And I feel that what was the possible and what things I have shared, that will be helping to the scholars, to the writers. Those are very much, you see, always it is not possible to use a kind of different kind of like to generate original paper. And you can also go for review paper. A review paper writing is very easy for you if actually you are going to organize the objectives and to find out the gaps properly for your paper. So thank you very much from my side. Over to Dr. Professor Itiraj Saikia and Dr. Pratisha Madam.